My first name was Tammy.
Huh? Alright, so today we're going to do the same thing as yesterday, except you have to do like an extra step before it. Okay, so yesterday for your graphs, they were already in standard form. Okay, so today you need to put them into standard form and then graph them. So, what?
Just keep going.
I'm gonna keep going. So, in order to put this into standard form, we need to complete the square. So we've already done that step before. Okay? So when we're completing the square, we need to look at these first two terms here. Okay, our next step was to add something to both sides of that equation. Okay, I couldn't factor it. I don't need to factor anything out from x squared. It's already x squared by itself. If there's no number next to it, you don't have to factor that out. Okay, so now to get this number, okay, I need to take b over 2a and square it. Okay, so we have 6 over 2 squared, so it'll be 9. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite this. So I have x squared plus 6x plus something plus 4. Okay, so that blank space I just found is supposed to be 9. Now there isn't any number out front here, so that would just be 1. And if I'm multiplying 9 and 1, it's still just 9. So whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Okay, so from here, I still have 9 plus y. Now I want to factor this. Okay, the whole reason I added that 9 in is so that I could have a quantity squared. Okay, so I'll have x. I'm going to take the square root of this 9. Okay, that's 3, right? Since this is addition right here, it'll be x plus 3. And that quantity must be squared. So if you were to FOIL this out, you should get x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay, just to check your answer if you need to. And then I still have this plus 4 on the outside. Now I need y by itself, so we're going to subtract 9. So we have y is equal to x plus 3 squared minus 5. All right. So from this point, I have my table here again. Okay, so if you have that note sheet, there's 2 note sheets with this table on it. So just one of them, doesn't matter which. If I look at my form of equation, okay, I'm in this form here. It's a y equals. So I'm using everything below it under that column. Okay, so that means I'm going to find A, H, and K. A is out front. That's just 1. H for this form is on the inside. It'll be negative 3. And then K will be negative 5. Okay, so this A value, since it's just 1, won't do anything to your parent function. H is going to move it left or right. If it's negative 3, which way am I going to move? Left. And then K is negative 5. Which direction should I move? down. Okay, so from the origin, I'm left 3 and down 5 units. Okay, now your parent function for this parabola again goes right 1, up 1, right 1, up 3, right 1, up 5, and if I would keep going and go right 1, up 7. Okay, so that's going to the right. You do the same thing going to the left. Left 1, up 1, left 1, up 3, left 1, up 5, and then again, left 1, up 7 if I were to keep going. Okay, so it stays the same, so it goes 1, 3, 5, 7, like your parent function does, since you don't have that multiplier of a. Now, if a was 2, you would multiply each of those vertical changes by 2. So instead of going up 1, I'd go up 2. Instead of going up 3, I'd go up 6. Okay, so that's what that a value does. Okay, so I can connect each of these points here and make my parabola shape. There's 2. All right, now that I've drawn in my parabola, I want to find some key characteristics of this graph, just like we did yesterday. So first I want to find the vertex. Well, I already labeled H and K. Your vertex is H comma K. So H is -3, K is -5. Now for my form of equation here, I'm using y equals. Okay, so I'm using this column. So my axis of symmetry will be x equals h. Okay, so I'm going to write out x is equal to my h value, which I already found was -3. Now my focus, again I'm going to look here. Focus, I'm going to use this. So we have our h value, -3. Our k value is -5. And we're going to add on 1 over 4 times a. And again, a was 1. Okay, so I'm just plugging in my numbers to that focus formula. Okay, so that's this one right here. Okay, from here I could add these together. So I have -5 plus 1/4. -4.75.
Yeah.
Because
one's not negative.
Good try. You're welcome. All right. Last one here is the directrix. Okay, so again, I'm using my chart. Directrix is this formula here. So we have y equals our k value. Our k value is -5 minus 1 over 4 times our a value was 1.
So that's, I knew it. I knew it would come up somewhere.
Okay, so y will be equal to -5.25. Okay, so it's the same process as yesterday, except first you have to find that standard form.
Yeah.
No.
Which one's different?
Do it right now.
Are we good over here? Good? Any questions on this first one? Shh. Yes.
Doesn't like elephants.
Why did that come up? Can we just keep going, please? Thanks. All right. Shh. So our second one here. Now this one, we need to get our one variable on one side of our equation. Okay? So here, since y is squared, we're not going to write this in the form y equals. It'll be in the form x equals. Okay? So we want all of our x's on one side of the equation and all of our y's on the other. Okay, so I'm going to, quiet, subtract 3x from both sides. So I have negative y squared equals x plus 5. Subtract 5. Okay, I'm going to write x first though. I'm going to say x is equal to negative y squared minus 5. No. Now if you notice, we don't have that middle term there that says a number times y, right? Like normal. Okay, so I'm just going to look at this one. Okay, to find my a value, I'm going to factor out that negative 1. Alright, so now if I have just this y squared, instead of completing the square, I can rewrite this as y minus 0 squared. Okay, so if you don't have that middle term with just that y, for your standard form, you can take your variable and just subtract 0 and square it. Okay, because if I were to FOIL that out, I'd just end up with y squared. Okay, and that's what I would want to end up with here. Now I still have this minus 5 on the outside. So this would be my standard form. Okay, so for this one, you didn't have to complete the square. You just had to realize you didn't have that middle term, so you could rewrite it this way instead. Okay, so now I can decide what my a, h, and k values are. So a is that number out front. So that's negative 1. Your h value in this form is outside of the parentheses. Okay, because I'm using this one. So h is on the outside, k is on the inside. Okay, so h will be negative 5, and k will be 0. All right, a, I have a negative 1. That's going to reflect. Okay, and it's going to reflect over the, hey, shh, stop.
X, Y axis?
Y axis. Okay, so this will reflect it over the y-axis because your parabola is opening to the right or to the left. It'll open to the left. H moves it left or right. So we'll go left 5 units. And this 0, we won't move up or down. Okay, so no movement up or down. Stop it.
I can't even do it.
So from your parent function, since this is a negative a, you're going to open to the left. Okay, we also need to move that vertex point to the left 5. Okay, so my point will be at negative 5. I don't have any multiplier for a, so I can use my parent function and go up 1, left 1, up 1, left 3. And then same thing down. So down 1, left 1, down 1, left 3. Yeah. Okay, now for my characteristics of this graph, okay, I'm using this column. Okay, so my vertex point is still at h comma k. So I have h and k labeled up here. We are -5, 0. Your axis of symmetry is y equals k. So we have y equals 0. Our focus is this one right here. So we'll take h, which is -5, add on 1 over 4 times our a value is -1, comma, our k value is 0. Okay, so I have -5 plus a -1/4. Yeah, I looked at you.
Like, oh.
Okay, this is -5.25. 0. Okay, last one is the directrix. That's this one right here. So that will be x is equal to, our h value is -5 minus 1 over 4 times our a value. Since I have a negative and a negative, it's -5 plus 1/4. So we have x is equal to -4.75. Okay, so again, same process. You just have to first put your equation into standard form. So it's just one extra step before you graph. You can't go home.
I can too.
You could. I just tell the office that you left.
I don't care too much about it. Like, I'm fine with digging.
You're supposed to be in class. You're in class.
You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
I always seem like big.
We're supposed to be in class.
Just lose and it gets in the way. Are you gonna try to lose it tonight? No, not. Dude, I'm really sorry.
I'm losing.
Why did I get 85 on my cake?
D85?
Bro, I rolled 75.
Yeah.
Alright. Please get started on this. If you did not finish the purple one, you need to do that one too.
I did that one already.
Okay, so there's only 2 problems, just like the note sheet. Okay, use that table from your previous note sheet to help you. Okay, because I don't expect you to memorize all that.
It's like
I hope not.
1201.
I didn't even memorize all that.